Hey everybody. I am still reading the book by Cynt Marshall, Thriving Through the Unexpected, You've Been Chosen. And so just want to give you a recap of chapters 9 through 15. This is a very solemn book, and it could be triggering for anybody who's lost anyone to cancer, or if you've ever gone through cancer, or going through cancer. It could be very triggering. But what I love about this book is that this woman's faith through it all and really stood the test of time. She really was thriving through the unexpected. So let's just get into it. So chapter 9 is called Appreciate the Journey. So some things that really stood out for me in this chapter, she started by writing her letter to her friend. She kept her job really informed, friends and family informed as to what she was going through. And she started to reference call the cancer center the clubhouse, which was really funny to me that she called it that. She talked about how her friends, she had so many people that loved and supported her from all over, and they wanted to be there for her. And so her friends were like scheduling time for people to go with her to the cancer center just to sit with her. So she talked about that. She talked about how it was hard for her to transition out of her position because she had been working for so long, and how she had someone by the name of Sylvia from her counterpart that was in Georgia that agreed to support her while she went through her cancer treatments in the interim that she was out. And she talked about how she would sit on the call with her as she was doing her work, because Cynt was really determined to do as much work as she could. So Sylvia would just listen to the call and just listen in and just be there. And for a while, she was just listening until Cynt just said it got so difficult for her, because she said she would have really good days, a good strong 9 days. I'm sorry. She had I had about 9 non-Cynt days and then 5 good days. So when she had her 5 good days, she would do her best to work. Okay. And then, but there will be times that, that chemotherapy is strong. It's a lot that goes along with that. So, but what she said that, her daughter, Shirley, really felt that she was going to die. So what she decided to do, and she asked Shirley, why did she feel like she was going to die? She had to, her daughter told her, because you haven't done anything, you're doing everything different. Your patterns are different. So Cynt talked about how she was very intentional. She would lay out her clothes in the morning. She would make sure that Shirley saw her lay out her clothes. She would make sure Shirley saw her fix breakfast in the morning for her. She would wake her up, get dressed, wake her up, and then leave and go to work. And she said that there would be times that she would take naps at work or take naps in the car because she would be exhausted. But then she would make sure to come home late, as Shirley had expected her to. And the first time she did this, Shirley said she met her at the garage and said, "Mom is not going to die." She shouted back to the family, "She's just having a midlife crisis." And she turned a corner that night and never mentioned me dying again, is what she said. And she said, "If my mom could make it to my brother's high school graduation after what she endured on the infamous day 1975, I could certainly drag myself to the office to give Shirley the stability she needed to keep on going with her little life." That is, me and my group was like, my book club, we were saying that's strength that a lot of people can't have. I don't know a lot of people that had that type of strength where they were going through. They weren't thinking about showing up for other people while they were going through. They were only thinking about what they were going through. So chapter 10 was about serving others. She talked about her job and how, when she graduated from college, it was all about finding a career that she loved, but then still looking for opportunities to be there for other people. So she talked about how, She worked for the telephone company, and how the people, even though she was a boss, the people had to go and climb the poles, and they had to take a pole climbing class in order to do the work that they need to do when they climb the poles. She took the class, and so the staff was really shocked that she would even take that class. But she said in order to do her job, she wanted to know what other people had to do because it affected the work that she did. And so that's the way she continued to live her life. She talked about how one of the people was they were going to let someone go at the job. And she was like, well, if you're going to let her go, you might as well let me go. And she told them that, she packed her stuff and told, okay, you and me, we leaving today. And they decided to keep the woman because she had literally was on her third way back to the car to drop her stuff off at the car. She was definitely transitioning her stuff to the car. She meant what she said. And the job took her serious and kept the other lady. She talked about chapter 11 is about taking nothing for granted, round 3. Again, she talked about her chemotherapy. And just the work that she did. It's just so funny. She called her device that she had to carry around the pump with the chemotherapy, because if you get chemotherapy, you spend the days, and you spend like about 4 hours at the treatment center, and then you have a pump that you carry home with you. And so she called the pump Winston. She said, I named that little pump Winston after Tay Diggs' character in the movie How Stella Got Her Groove. She said that and she describes the story, and she said Winston, as much younger man who brings spark back into her life. She said cancer was sucking up a lot of my spark and my groove, and Winston was my answer to getting my life back. I showed my cancer pump some love so that he would show me some love in return. I decorated Winston for various holidays and put him in a little bathrobe at night with my matching pajamas. Do your thing, baby. I also took him with me when I went to meetings with policymakers and other influencers on behalf of AT&T. I wasn't shy about milking my chemo for anything that could benefit others. I decided to use my cancer instead of letting it use me. To get something from this awful disease that had interrupted my life. I even showed up on the floor of the North Carolina legislature with my chemo pump on my hip. Rumor has it that one of the representatives told someone, just give her whatever she wanted so that she can go home. She's really looking like she needs to lie down. I was there to finish the job no matter what. That woman was not playing. You hear me? She was going to let everybody know she had cancer, and she was getting through it, and she was thriving through. She was thriving through. So, again, it was just about, a lot of it it's not a lot to really talk about that really stood out for me. Just her endurance. She talked a lot about she talked about her faith, and she referenced Jeremiah 29:11 in chapter 13. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you, plans to not harm you, plans to give you hope in the future. She said, for the present, I was thankful each day, whether it was one of my 9, whose body is this day's, or 5, feeling more like Cynt days. I like that. I like how she wore pearls every day when she went to her cancer treatment to keep her going through. And chapter 14 was about letting go. And she talked about her struggles to have a baby and how she had to decide to give up her, to let the idea of having a baby go. She had a baby that she references Special K. I think she had 4 pregnancies before one she was able to actually give birth to a baby, and that baby didn't live long. Just when she thought she was going to be to take the baby home, the baby died. It's a very sad story, but even in that, her and Kenny, her husband, they kept the faith, and I guess soon we'll be hearing about the story of how she decided to adopt, because I do know that was a part of her story. She talked about even at the funeral, she decided to carry her baby to the graveside in her lap. The not the actual deceased baby, but not coffin, but you know what I'm saying. The thing, yeah. Oh, so that was up to chapter 15. And It's a solemn book, but I like her faith in it. And so if anybody's going through something, just to know how to have faith to get through it is what I'm learning about Cynt Marshall. Thank you for letting me share. Everybody, like and share.